I'm going to start this story by saying that I am not a violent person, but if you attack my dog, then I can't promise that my unbound rage won't be unleashed upon your mortal soul. This event took place when I was least expecting it. I was home alone, just me and the dog. His name is Vincent van Gogh. We named him after the famous artist, Vincent van Gogh. Unlike the historically famous painter, my dog was in the garden having a wee. I was simply pottering around my office with, at this point, zero cares. Carefree, one might say. Until I hear a noise I have heard countless times before. Nevertheless, my heart sinks far into my stomach and almost into my bowels. The noise I heard was children playing on the grass outside. This sounds innocent, yes? Think again. No, I was thinking, in my very own head, the rage bubbling up inside me like a pot of pasta that you have forgotten about. Soon I would have metaphorical, starchy water spitting out from under my lid. Again, they were only playing with a ball, and I can hear you asking me why this warrants this sort of reaction. Well, this frustrates me because I'm constantly on edge in case they hit my car with their ball. Little did I know that a ball hitting my car was the last thing I would need to worry about. Suddenly, a bark. I rushed to the nearest vantage point to give me line of sight to Vincent van Gogh. Line of sight acquired. What the flip? I muttered under my laboured breath. He was sniffing around the fence at the end of the garden with occasional barks. Anyone who has a dog will know that dogs bark differently for different reasons, and I could understand his bark nuances extremely well. This particular bark meant that his proximity had been breached, indicating only one thing. The children are now directly outside my garden fence. Remember the boiling pasta pan I mentioned earlier as a reference to how angry I was becoming? Well, now imagine that pan started to suddenly collapse upon its own weight, causing a supernova and subsequently exploding into nothingness. That's about where my anger is up to. The barking continued, and so the time had finally come. I had to head out there with the possibility of having to interact with the little rats. I rushed downstairs like a ninja in a hurry and approached the back door. It was already open, and so I could sneak out into the garden like a fart released through spread cheeks. I tiptoed down the path. I was careful to avoid the flagstone that I recently pulled up to see how easy they were to remove, but I ended up putting it back slightly wrong, and so now it wobbles when you step on it. Successfully avoided. I reached the path at the end of the garden, which spans the garden perpendicular to the fence, demarcating the end of our property line. The gate now directly in front of my physical form. Vincent van Gogh was now sticking his curious and alert nose through the gap at the bottom of the gate, clearly indicating to me that they were very close, and potentially even were on the external path outside the gate, which is clearly owned by us, if they had even bothered to look on the land registry. Still fuming in silence, I waited for what felt like days, but was around the 20-second mark when I saw it. The nail in the coffin. The straw that broke the camel's back. A stone, the size of a small microwave, came flying under the gap in the gate, skimming VVG by mere inches. Then another. My previous analogy of the pan doesn't translate to how angry I am at this point. I scooped up the pup like a JCB with my right arm, and then gripped the gate release like a JCB with my left hand. I swung the gate open so hard that someone almost heard it. The image in front of me is one I will never forget. 3 kids, all on my path, their faces, pure evil as they scurried back in fear due to my aggressive gate opening. "Were you throwing boulders at my mutt?" I shrieked like a megaphone operator. No, sorry, sir. No, the stone was already there, please, sir," one of the putrid beings denoted. "No, I saw it land there. You threw it," I growled back at them. They ended up apologising profusely. Therefore, a citizen's arrest wasn't required. I allowed them to return to the world, providing they sort their acts out, and I advised them to change their ways, so that one day they can contribute to society. I think I did a good thing with a bad situation. I think I might even be a role model to them now. VVG is all fine too,